Alright, hi people, it's Shakes here, and I'm here to do some unboxing, but mainly review for you guys today of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Metallic Rangers. I initially wasn't going to get these, but then I thought, okay, I'll get them over the summer. Then the Hasbro Warehouse sale came out, and I got 30% off of all of them at once. So I decided to jump on getting them. So yeah, and I probably will get the Ninja Rangers. But yeah, so basically these are the metallic versions of the Rangers from MMPR Season 3. And yeah, they're basically the original molds for the Mighty Morphin Rangers. Just cast in a see-through or transparent plastic with more quote-unquote metallic versions of their colors, plus the glitter that was on the suits, which funnily made fun of by Linkara in his History of Power Rangers Season 3 videos. But yeah. And then I'm also going to do a comparison with the original versions of these. Some of the helmets got redone as well, mainly red and black. I think also blue, but the rest are fine, so yeah. So let's get to it. Just first show off the boxes. Basically, these are just reuses of the designs from the original releases of these, just with glitter over the colors and everything. And down here it says Mighty Morphin Metallic Red Ranger. So yeah, this was before the plastic-free packaging. So yeah, and you got the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers logo right there, which, interestingly enough, doesn't have the Saban logo. And on the back, you got him in the general pose for the Ranger and everything. Then we got the Blue Rangers box. So, yeah. And I point out the lack of the Saban logo because for these products, Hasbro started removing the Saban part of some of the logos from the original Saban and Neo Saban eras for these figures and anything related to them. So yeah, we got the figure on the back. Okay, I thought that the blaster looked like it was like a transparent plastic as well. Black Rangers. Yeah, and I think they're basically in the same poses as they were on the original boxes, but I don't have the original boxes, so yeah, because I threw those out in the recycling. Yeah, it's got the Yellow Rangers box. So you're gonna have to go to the original videos for the original versions of these figures to make the comparison. We got the Pink Rangers. Funnily enough, I don't have a version of the Pink Ranger from this line with the Kimberly head. It's literally all just the cat head. So yeah. And they gave her the action piece being the energy bow, or energy arrow that goes with the bow. So yeah. So then the White Ranger. So yeah. So yeah. So let's start with way over on the side here with the Red Ranger. First, his accessories. You get 2 extra fists, and these are cast in a more transparent plastic as well. Blade Blaster, which for some reason these still don't come with the holstered versions. The Power Sword, which I think does have the... I think this has glitter on it, which the original does not. And then we got the lighting effect piece. And then the civilian head for Rocky, which first Red Ranger figure I have of Mighty Morphin with Rocky's head. I expect there to be a remastered version of this figure later on this year. So, yeah. So here we go with the Ranger figure. And it looks just fine. The helmet is much better. It's much more screen accurate. And, yeah. They also use this version, or the sculpt of the helmet for the color swap 2-pack with the Red and Yellow Rangers from the comics. So, yeah. And again, it's just a transparent plastic in red with the glitter infused in it. And the helmet does have that as well. Yeah. To compare them really quick with the original one, which I haven't opposed because I have them posed on a shelf, you can see that the helmet is much better because this is more squished and everything and weirdly proportioned. But this one definitely has the better helmet sculpt. Alright, and here we go with the Rocky head. You can also use them, I think, with the original, but yeah. Which fits okay. Head seems a little small, but is otherwise fine, I think. So yeah. And one thing that I also wanted to get, because it comes with these figures, are the Zeo crystals from Season 3 of MMPR/Zeo. Which they put these with the colors of the Rangers that they go with rather than the Rangers themselves, but it's fine. So yeah, especially since Billy didn't become another Ranger in Zeo. So they would have had to give this one to Tommy, but it's whatever. You still get all 5 pieces by themselves. Then you, with the right Ranger, you get the pieces connected in one mold. So then we get on to MMPR Blue, which here's the lightning effect piece. I think they reused the original ones for the most part that came with the original versions of the figures. The 2 individual lances, which are pretty nice. They're also, the weapons for the rest of the Rangers are also, or at least most of them are also in the transparent plastic. The combined version of the lance, 2 fist hands, the blade blaster, and then the Ranger 3 blue triangle crystal, which that's Zeo 5 red, and it's in a star form, because they went with, for the O-Ranger suits, they took from the O-Ranger suits the visors for that. So here we go with the Blue Ranger. Oh yeah, I forgot. The civilian head for Billy, which I believe is different from the one that came with the regular version of the Ranger, which I think the original version had the glasses form of Billy, and then the remastered version has a version where you can take the glasses on and off of the civilian head. So yeah. But I do like how these turned out. Much darker blue, but that glitter. Again, I think the mold of the helmet was altered a bit. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to do the articulation on these. So obviously move the head in the 360. Move these arms in a almost 90-degree angle. Shoulders back and forth and everything. Arms can move in a 360 like this. Double ball joints for most of them on the elbows. I think the girls do not have this because of the molds. Torsos you can move back and forth like this. Hands you can move in a 360 like this, as well as back and forth. Luckily these seem to be pretty good in regards to looseness versus tightness in regards to the joints. legs you can move in a not even 30-degree angle, or 45-degree angle, or 90-degree angle, either way. Knees are on a double ball joint as well. And then the feet move back and forth like that, break his ankle, and everything. So, yeah. But yeah, to compare him with the original version of the figure, I have the lance bent on this because it was in a bag. So I was moving everything around, and that got bent a little bit. Not the only thing, but I tried to bend it back into place, and it's like, eh. But yeah, so to just compare the original version of the figure, pretty good in regards to basically being the same. You can tell that the helmet was definitely changed in regards to the mold. It's a bit more squinted in, but it looks more screen accurate versus the fat head on this. They just rounded it out better and everything, and I think, yeah, they pushed everything forward a little bit in regards to the details. But Blue Ranger looks good. And we got the civilian head for Billy on it, which I think resembles David Yost okay. But yeah, so just if you want to have a Billy head on this figure, there you go. Obviously, you can also use it with basically any other figure. But yeah, and that makes a nice snap when you put it on. So then we have the Black Ranger, which, to go into the effect pieces or whatever, you have these two gripping hands, I think, for posing. So yeah, the Blade Blaster. Again, all of them just have open blade blasters. The Power Axe, which I believe is in a lighter plastic than the original version. And again, you can move this back and forth if you want it in blaster form or axe blaster or axe mode. So, yeah, which I did not get with that. Oh yeah, and I believe you can form these all into their team weapon. So yeah, you got the Z Ranger. I think this is for green, the Ranger 4 green figure, or not figure, suit. And then you got the civilian head, which I think resembles Johnny Young Bosch pretty okay. I think this is just a reuse of the previous either Z01 or something. But yeah. So we get to the figure, which again, I think actually looks pretty good. They definitely redid the helmet mold on this, which is actually pretty good. But yeah, I think it actually looks pretty good in regards to this metallic plastic. To compare them to the original figure, yeah, you can see a very big difference in regards to the helmets, which is nice. Yeah, whenever they release a remastered version of the MMPR Black figure, that'll be interesting. Yeah, I do believe that this is a lighter plastic. It's maybe not showing up on camera, but I believe this is a lighter, like, grayish black plastic as opposed to the fully black plastic on the original. So yeah. Alright. There we go with the Atom head on it, which you can easily just do. This one's right foot likes to slide, but yeah, so if you just want it with the Atom head, you can do that. So yeah, now we get to the Yellow Ranger, which don't really like the yellow that much on this. It just doesn't look great. But yeah, I forgot to go over the accessories first. So we got the Zeo Crystal, which I think is for 2 yellow, because the 2 on there, which is actually pretty interesting. Oh yeah, I forgot the effect piece for Black Rangers there. I think this is the original version. Could be a different plastic color. I got the effect piece for yellow. The Blade Blaster. The 2 power daggers, which are also in the transparent plastic. And a posing hand and a karate chop hand. And the Aisha, I believe, head sculpt. So yeah, rather than Trini's, because Trini's actor Tui Trang left halfway through, or partway through, season 2. Then we got the figure itself, which again, I don't really care much for this color of yellow, or the shade of yellow. It just doesn't look great. It kind of looks more like a gold, like a faded gold. The arms seem a little loose, and again, no double ball joints for the female figures, because their arms are too thin. But yeah, and to compare it to the original, obviously a big difference in regards to the color. I believe, or actually they did update the sculpt on the helmet a little bit. It's not as big as a difference as like on MMPR red, blue, or black, but you can see slight differences, mainly with the saber-toothed tiger's nose and everything. I didn't think the original sculpt was that bad, but they did round it out a bit more and everything. So, yeah. So, it's whatever at this point. Or at least I think Aisha. What was her name? Alright. And you got the... I think Aisha... Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Maybe that was a replacement. But anyways, got the civilian head on the body, which is just basically whatever. If you want her with the civilian head, there you go. Okay, that helmet went on much easier than the head. So then we have the Pink Ranger, which this is like the first kind of a precursor to the figures that come in the plastic-free packaging. The more recent figures of the last like half a year when they switched over to the plastic-free packaging, where they put the civilian heads on the Rangers instead of the helmets. Didn't know that was going to happen, but there you go. So then we have the, I think, Zeo Ranger 1 pink, like, symbol on this crystal, because it's in an oval sort of shape. Got the 2 posing hands, a fist and a karate chop hand. The Blade Blaster. And then the arrow, which is basically exactly the same as the one you get with the regular pink figure. Or at least the one from Catherine in the Cat 2 pack that they released a year or 2 ago. You got the bow, which is in this, I think it's, yeah, this transparent plastic again. And then you got the energy arrow, which I think was originally with the, I don't know what it's called, but the version of the Pink Ranger figure from comics. But yeah. And then we got the figure herself, which in regards to the packaging, how it comes is weird. They had the figure with the elbows, like, bent up instead of, like, molding into it. I don't understand what was going on with that. But yeah, and you can see the Catherine head on it, which I think is different from the Cat 2-pack and the Zeo figure, but I could be wrong. So yeah, so then just put the Ranger helmet on, and I don't think that they altered this at all, or maybe they didn't alter it much from the original mold in regards to the helmet and everything. So yeah, I think this hand is to hold the arrow better, because I'll be completely honest, the hands that come with the normal pink Ranger, at the very least with the Catherine one, don't hold the arrow at all. At least not really that well. So yeah, it sucks, but meh. Yeah, I think it actually looks pretty good. Compare it with the original version of the figure. Actually, they made this one a little bit more skinny in regards to the helmet mold. I thought the original was fine. Honestly, they altered the visor, okay. But otherwise, is pretty fine. This one's more consistent in color, too. This is more like a violet or a purple than a pink. And then this, the arms, the helmet, and the legs are pink, but the body is more purple. Which is stupid, but whatever. So, yeah. Okay, yeah. I just noticed the slits in the thing here for the skirt. And then we got the metallic white Ranger, which he comes with all 5 of the pieces of the Zeo crystal molded together into one piece, which is fine. Got 2 hands, 1 fist and 1 karate chop hand. Got the effect piece, which I believe this is the exact same as the original version of the figure. Got Saba, again in the transparent plastic. It looks pretty good. Civilian head for Tommy, which I believe some people have said looks more like the comics version of Tommy than Jason David Frank. And then here we go with the figure itself, which is, I don't believe that they altered anything at all. They didn't really need to in regards to this mold, because it already came out pretty good the first time. The gold is definitely more golden, at least what it looks like to me, than it looks on the original figure, but I'll compare that in a second. But yeah, this transparent white plastic with the glitter looks pretty good, honestly. So, yeah. Although, I don't know what that was. I don't know if this was like this, how it came out in the factory, but, like, shoulder pieces are way too, like, or if that's how it was from being in the box for that long, but, like, shoulder pieces are bent a little bit in places that they shouldn't be, or in ways that they shouldn't be. So, comparing it to the original, I don't believe they altered the mold at all, because, again, didn't really need to. It already came out pretty good. You can definitely see the gold parts on the helmet, shield, belt, and everything else that has gold. Look more golden on this than they do here, because this is a more kind of muted gold. It's not like they're bad, I'm just saying. So, yeah, I think actually looks pretty good, all things considered. So, yeah. So I got all these at once, which I think is a good way to get them. I think the amount of accessories that they come with is pretty good in regards to, they had a little bit more thought put into them. On top of that, they were given the Zeo crystals, because I believe by the time these came out, the Zeo Ranger figures were already out, or at least most of them were. So they decided to give these versions of the figures, move the Red Ranger in a shot, these versions of the figures more more stuff with the Zeo crystals and everything. Still don't understand how we couldn't get the holster, at least the holstered versions of the Blade Blasters with these, in addition to the gun mode ones. The remastered versions of the figures have all 3 modes. I don't understand why none of these could, whether it came to the original versions of the figures or these ones. Doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, so if you want to pick these up, try and get them. Whether or not it's through Hasbro Pulse, although these are, I believe, Hasbro Pulse exclusives, but I think you can pick them up in other places if you haven't already picked them up. The remastered versions of the figures are probably going to use these molds. So yeah, at least the core 5. I don't know about the Green Ranger, because the Green Ranger already came with basically everything that you could give him. So yeah. But anyways, yeah. So really, not much else to say. Probably gonna get the Ninja Rangers at some point as well, but we'll see. So yeah. So not much else to say. So link description on my shit. Subscribe if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next one.